It was supposed to be a routine flight, 152 passengers, a clear sky, and a journey like any other. But high above the clouds, destiny had other plans. When the engines failed, fear took over the cabin. Yet in the midst of chaos, one man stayed calm. His name wasn't famous, but his courage would soon echo across the world. This is the story of how one man's bravery turned a tragedy into a miracle. At 32,000 feet, silence replaced the roar of the engines. Oxygen masks dropped. Panic filled the air. The pilot's hands gripped the controls, fighting against the impossible. Every second felt like a lifetime. But he refused to surrender. With every move, he chose courage over fear, logic over panic, and hope over despair. This was no longer just a flight. It was a battle for 152 souls. Imagine feeling the weight of 152 lives in your hands. Every heartbeat, every breath, depending on your next move. The world fades, and all that remains is instinct, training, and faith. He wasn't thinking about himself, only about the people behind him. Children, parents, strangers. He wasn't just flying a plane. He was carrying the future of 152 families. Screams. Prayers. Silence. In the cabin, time stood still. But in the cockpit, one man's voice broke through the noise. "We're going to make it," he said, steady, sure, unshaken. In that moment, his words became an anchor of hope. They didn't know it yet, but they were about to witness the impossible. A landing no one believed could happen. As the plane began its descent, the world below had no idea what was coming. He guided the aircraft, hands trembling, eyes locked on the horizon. There was no runway, no perfect conditions, just sheer will. Every second mattered. Every heartbeat echoed like thunder. And then, against all odds, metal met earth, and the plane slid to a stop. Silence. Then tears. Then applause. 152 lives saved. Rescue crews arrived in disbelief. Reporters called it a miracle. Engineers called it impossible. But for him, it wasn't about headlines. It was about people, the crying mother who hugged her child, the old man whispering thanks, the crew who wept in relief. He didn't seek fame. He only wanted everyone to go home alive, and they did. When the world called him a hero, he shook his head. "I just did my job," he said. But heroes never see themselves that way. True heroism isn't about medals or glory. It's about standing tall when everything falls apart. It's about doing what's right when no one else can. He was a man who turned fear into faith, and despair into destiny. We often wait for tragedy to remind us of courage. But courage lives quietly in people like him, unseen until the world needs it most. His story teaches us that greatness isn't about being perfect. It's about being human enough to keep going when the odds say you shouldn't. The man who saved Flight 152 didn't just land a plane. He lifted the human spirit. Years later, passengers still remember his voice, his calm, his strength. Some named their children after him. Others changed their lives because of what he did that day. A moment of courage became a lifetime of inspiration. Because heroes may land a plane once, but their legacy keeps the rest of us flying. He was not a superhero, not a legend, just a man who refused to give up. 152 lives. One impossible moment. And the courage that changed everything. So when you hear the name, the man who saved Flight 152, remember this. Sometimes the greatest stories aren't written in books. They're written in the skies, by people who dare to believe that hope can fly.